Carnegie Mellon is a great example of what it means to move forward.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Damn, son.
Hello, class of 2027 plus, and welcome to Community Collage. My name is Charlotte. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the head orientation counselor for Morewood Gardens. I hope that in the next hour and a half, you find a narrative or performance that resonates with your own experiences. The experiences that will be shared are not at all comprehensive of the community we have, but I hope this gives you a glimpse into what's possible for you in the next 4 years. This week and the rest of your college experience is for exploring your identity. Even as a senior, I'm still figuring out who I am and what I want to do with my own life. It's definitely unnerving at times, but the support system I have makes me certain that everything will work out. Don't feel like you need to figure everything out these next few days. Go to new club meetings, introduce yourself to more people, register for classes you know nothing about, and challenge yourself to take risks. I hope that at your time at Carnegie Mellon, you are surrounded by a community that empowers you to be vulnerable and reflect on your identity.
Hello, first-year students. If you haven't yet got to meet me, my name is Abby Cunningham, and I am the HOC for Donna. I use she, her pronouns, and I am going into my senior year in vocal performance and music education. Today, thank you. Today, I want to talk to you all a little bit about our orientation theme. Pursue Your Happiness has a special place in my heart. So let me set the stage for you. Imagine me, a high school senior, going around to audition for all these different vocal performance programs. It was February in 2020, probably midnight, and my mom and I were driving to Pittsburgh for my audition in pitch black. This was a scene fit for a movie, pouring rain and all. As I sat there in the passenger seat of my mom's Hyundai, I questioned everything about the future. Where would I end up studying? Would I make any friends? Did I even want to leave my hometown? While we were driving through this dreary setting, we crossed the West Virginia-Pennsylvania border, and I saw the sign welcoming me to Pennsylvania, lit up with the phrase, "Pursue your happiness." I saw that state motto and thought to myself, how fitting. Isn't college all about pursuing your happiness? 3 years later, I think back on that girl and want to tell her that pursuing your happiness doesn't mean always being happy. In my years at Carnegie Mellon, despite all the school spirit that you see now, I was not always happy. I was lonely, shy, homesick, scared, and unsure of if Carnegie Mellon was really the place for me. These fears didn't just go away one night. You will wake up 3 years from now as an incoming senior and still be homesick some days. You will feel stressed, overwhelmed, and just as unsure as your first day here. But you will also make some amazing friends. You will find your organizations that keep you grounded and the professors that inspire you. You will find your favorite foods and restaurants that you miss every time you visit home. And eventually, all these fears will start to be outnumbered by the things that bring you joy. Your time at CMU isn't about erasing your fears. It's about pursuing your happiness. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2027 plus. We're so excited to have you here. I'm Isha, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the head orientation counselor for The Hill. Like many of you, I came into college eager, nervous, and unsure of what to expect. I had worked hard in high school, filling my resume with volunteer work, sports, and grades, only hoping that the college application process would fall into place. Carnegie Mellon had been a reach of mine for so long that sitting in my Resnick dorm room after my parents left felt surreal. However, with that shock came the realization that around me, everyone was just as smart, interesting, and seemed better than me. The imposter syndrome was overwhelming. Yet through conversations with my RA, peers, and shared experiences and time here, I was reminded that no matter how different I felt from my peers, we'd all made it here. I hope to remind you that you too are here for a reason, and you deserve to be here. Although all our journeys to get here may have been extremely different and our experiences have shaped us into unique individuals, we now have the opportunity to make CMU our shared community. Finding community in a new space can definitely be scary and take time, but I encourage you to remain confident in the fact that you belong here and you will find those spaces that make you feel at home. This week is here to expose you to as many of those spaces as possible. But through the next few years, your community and support system will change as you do too. As you grow through your time here, I hope you remember that no matter how hard a moment may feel, it too will pass. You will survive, learn to thrive, and we will always be here to support you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Fang. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a rising senior studying business administration and computer science. I'm also the head orientation counselor for Fifth Ave. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kendall. If I asked myself back in middle school what my high school and college experience would be like, my answer then would be really far from what reality is now. Before the pandemic, I had all these crazy expectations for the perfect end to my senior year of high school and the perfect start to my life in college. Or at the very least, not Zoom classes, masks, social distancing. My first year at Carnegie Mellon University was fully virtual, and seeing the opportunity for what I saw as a perfect fresh start taken away from me was deeply dissatisfying. We all have this shared experience that's part of our lives, of being irrevocably changed by something completely out of our control. To be fair, this happens all the time. Our real life is so much messier and less satisfying than the stories we tell ourselves. Like, you're telling me Riverdale and Heartstopper aren't factually accurate depictions of my adolescence. But these portrayals aren't our reality. Our journey is unique, messy, and flawed. That's not just okay. It's a natural and crucial part of our college experience. I know it's easy for me to say that when I'm a senior, standing up here, but even now, there's a voice in the back of my head telling me to be insecure about the way I look and speak, reminding me of all the mistakes I've made, the trust I've broken, and the people I've hurt. It shows me a small boy from elementary school, curled up on the red timeout square on the playground asphalt as the midday sun beats down on him. But if I could say something to him, it would be to be a little more understanding and lenient to ourselves and the people around us. Because there really aren't that many evil people out there. So often our intentions differ so greatly from the actual effect it has on others. We should be more willing to understand and forgive other people. And if we practice that enough, perhaps we could even be able to forgive ourselves. We're all struggling through this with our ambitions, our arrogance, our hopes, and our flaws together. To the transfer students and the class of 2027 plus, welcome to Carnegie Mellon.
Hi, class of 2027 plus. My name is Sean Nerona, and I'm the... All right. And I am the HOC for Stever. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a rising senior studying chemical and biomedical engineering. Throughout this week, you're going to hear many of the same messages. Put yourself out there, get involved, meet new people. Now, I can't overstate how incredibly important all of these things are, and they should be major takeaways from orientation. However, they shouldn't be the only takeaways. In all of the excitement of orientation with its small group meetings, icebreakers, play fairs, and large group activities, it's easy to forget to make time for yourself. I often feel when I'm not spending time with my roommates, classmates, or friends, like I'm missing out, falling behind, always feeling like I need to be doing something. I found that this started making me dependent on other people for my happiness, to the point that I felt like I was losing myself. It can be hard being comfortable making time for you and you yourself alone. No matter how large your social battery may be, you need time for true self-care, whether that comes in the form of taking yourself out for lunch, going on walks, picking up new hobbies, or just spending time in your thoughts. This time is when you can pursue your happiness in ways that aren't dependent on others. I'm hopeful that in your time here at Carnegie Mellon, you find what makes you uniquely you and discover ways to find happiness within. I hope you all have an incredible 4 years here, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2027 plus. Welcome to Community Collage. My name is Gina Lee, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am the HOC for Much House. I am an incoming first-year graduate student in mechanical engineering after studying here for my undergraduate program in mechanical and biomedical engineering. You might be wondering where my accent is from, and it is completely fine to come up to me to ask about it. I was born in Germany, but I grew up in England, Korea, and the States. And even though I've spent one of the least amounts of time in Korea growing up, I hold my heritage with pride, which ironically has only become stronger as I progress through college away from home. My message to you today is that you are the one to pave your way to anything, whether it be happiness, a professional or a personal growth goal. Your authentic passion and genuine desire to achieve something is so much greater and stronger than any chapter in a textbook, a lesson in a lecture, or whatever someone says to you. Contrary to a lot of my peers who are really scared to be away from home for college for the first time, so you're not alone, don't worry. I remember being extremely excited coming to college, since it was the first time in my life that I knew that I will stay for 4 years without moving. Here I am looking back at the road I have come through, whether it be smooth or extremely rocky at times, with a newfound appreciation for what has made me truly myself to this day. I hope that you all will have a moment to look back at and appreciate even the worst of your journey in pursuit of happiness. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2027 plus. I'm Pranati Barpaneni. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the HOC for each hour. I'm a rising senior studying business administration and decision science. Today, I stand before you to discuss a concept that is both fundamental and liberating, the power of pursuing your own story. I didn't realize until sophomore year of college that I was a passive participant in my own life. Until then, I had been following a path I believed everyone else was on, living a life seemingly prescribed by societal norms. I studied hard, I got into a good college, and I was pursuing a career that helped set me up for a good life in the future. I thought that if I followed this lifestyle, I would finally be happy. Thus, all my actions and decisions were based on whether they fit the seemingly perfect lifestyle, and any deviation filled me with so much regret and sorrow. And finally, in college, I realized by letting society and people around me dictate my story, I wasn't pursuing my own happiness. I wasn't sad because my story was different from others. I was sad because I would not let myself pursue my own story. I wasn't letting myself be authentic. I wasn't letting myself enjoy the moment. It took me a year to finally learn how to write my own story without the expectations of others, and I'll admit, it's not perfect. I'm still struggling, but I can say with full confidence that I'm so much more happier now than I ever was in the past. So to everyone in this room, let's embrace the beauty of our different stories. It's time to pick up that pen, carve our own paths, and celebrate the wild, wonderful, and unique stories that make us who we are. Thank you. And all the HOCs and I welcome you to CMU.
Obviously, we're the beginning of something. I don't expect you to know how it's gonna go, but I believe we might be on to something. And I just thought maybe you should know.
I've been playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my mind. I've been writing you down next to mine. Been imagining all the things you and I could do. I've seen all the possibilities in my dreams. All alone, you really should be next to me. Baby, let's not wait and see.
Immediate action is unnecessary. It's a fatal attraction. It's a little scary. I got a plan of attack and I'll get it to someday soon. I know it. I got a plan B. And if it's absolutely necessary, we're gonna plan C. Whatever I gotta do to be with you. I've been playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my head. I've been next to mine. Been imagining all the things you and I could do. I've seen all the possibilities in my dream. You're alone, you should really be next to me. Baby, let's not wait and see. Nobody can see into the future. Even the weatherman gets caught in the rain sometimes. But I see something in you that I've never seen before. And I can't be sure, no, maybe not. But I think it's worth a shot.
Hypothetically, yes. Forever. We'll see what happens, but I hope we will never be apart. Hypothetically, yes. Theoretically, forever. We'll see what happens, but I hope we will never be apart. Been playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my mind. I've been writing it down next to mine. Been imagining all the things you could do. I've seen all the possibilities in my dreams. You're next to me. Baby, let's not wait and see.
Can I get a show of hands? Who here knows exactly what student organizations you want to join? Good afternoon, class of 2027 plus. I'm Ken, a fourth year in civil engineering, and when I was in your seats, I had no idea what I wanted to be involved with. Coming in as a first generation student, I was not able to draw on experiences from my family on what activities I could get involved in on campus. So through my RA, I learned about the Spring Carnival Committee and took a leap of faith by joining when everything was still virtual. I started out as a General Operations Committee member, and over the years, I started taking on more leadership responsibilities. And this year, I will be one of the electrical subcommittee heads. Thank you. I did not know what to expect when I first joined, but I soon discovered the joy and camaraderie that has come with working closely with similarly passionate students who all want to make the best Spring Carnival experience for the entire CMU community. I challenge all of you to take this opportunity to try something different. You don't have to worry about making the perfect choice, because no matter what you do, you will find value in it. Thank you.
wop a doo wop shoo be doo be doo wop a doo wop a doo wop shoo be doo be doo wop a doo wop a doo wop shoo be doo be doo wop a doo wop a doo wop shoo be doo be doo. She give me cotton all night long. She give me cotton all night long. Well, it's been such a long day. I'm kind of tired. Bring 'em soothing arms my way.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5. One, two, three, four, five. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna be a buzz like I had last week. I must stay deep, cause talk is cheap. I like Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. And as I continue, you know they're getting sweeter. So what can I do? I really bag you, my lord. To me, flirting is just like a sport.
Hey guys, my name is Benji Santiago, and I'm a music theater major over in the School of Drama. I'm also a transfer student, so shout out to any transfers that are here. Okay. This next song is from a musical called Fugitive Songs, which to me is about a group of complete strangers coming together at a crossroads, all from different backgrounds, helping each other to the next chapter. So I thought it was kind of familiar. The most important thing that I've learned in college so far is how to reroute and to trust that no matter what happens, you will get to where you need to go. And if you struggle to find the strength within yourself, you can most definitely find it in other people. And I really hope that you guys find those people here. So this song is called Getting There.
In a photo shop in Utah, killing time, cutting glossy 3x5s, providing photo evidence of other people's lives. Spent the last ounce of my patience putting other lives in focus, going mad. Customers keep coming in, reminding me of places that I have never been. Someone at Mount Rushmore, someone seeing Delaware. Look, they climb the Catskills and I'm not going anywhere. I watch their dreams develop and pass out in my armchair. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. Spent the last 3 nights at Denny's with 1,000,000 cups of coffee, making plans. Called my boss up on the phone, gonna take a little time, taking pictures of my own. Slingshot to the highway for some snapshots on the road. Redefine the life with no area or zip code. Gonna put my life in focus. Got a good 3 years to spare. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. Load the film, stretch the time, lose the map and disappear. Keep on capturing. Load the film, try to find the longest route from there to here. Keep on capturing. 20s. Gonna put my life in focus on the road. Set the course to anywhere, get me out of Utah. Put me in a picture, as long as I'm in motion. I'm getting there, I'm getting there, I'm getting there.
Good afternoon to all. I've entitled my talk, My Truest Self, Despite the Burden It Carries in Society. My name is Vivica Adele, and I use she, her pronouns. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico until I came here for college. I'm currently a junior studying statistics here at Carnegie Mellon, and I also come from a low socioeconomic background. I can go all day telling you all more about my identity, more bullet points that honestly don't really define the complete image of who is my truest self. 2 years ago, when I was in your position, if you would have asked me who my truest self was, I would have answered confidently, I was a Puerto Rican man that was going to change the world, who also happened to be gay. 6 months after that, I would have answered that I was a gay Puerto Rican man that only wanted a decent life and a job. Give it 6 more months, and I only felt like I was one more person in a world of 7 billion people. Now, 6 months after that, I can say that I am a proud transgender woman who is currently changing the world with every day I wake up. Part of me finally embracing my truest self and my pursuit of happiness has been thanks to those teachers that exist outside the classroom. Most of us come into college thinking that everything we will learn is from professors that have PhDs and more than 10 years in their academic fields. While I have learned a lot from those people, I have learned a lot more from those teachers outside the classroom. I've learned more from my mentors, from my chosen family, from my coworkers, and my bosses from my summer internships, such as the Pittsburgh Hispanic Development Corporation, the Center for Shared Prosperity, and Transuniting. This past summer, I worked with Transuniting alongside my boss and chosen mother, Dina Stanley. We worked organizing Pittsburgh Pride, which actually had 200,000 visitors across the weekend. Yeah. I also had the opportunity to lead the development of a county-wide demographic survey for our trans community, with the ultimate goal of ensuring that our trans and gender non-conforming community, especially the Black trans women in Pittsburgh, can access essential resources. This has been, thank you. This has been one of the best experiences I've had thanks to CMU and the connections I've fostered here. I want to once again reintroduce myself. Today, I'm a Latina trans woman. Today, my name is Vivica Adele, and I am proud, courageous, empowered, and ambitious for a better tomorrow. Thank you, Dina Stanley, for being my biggest inspiration. Thank you to the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion for allowing me to tell my story in front of you all. And thank you for listening.
Machi, open the bottle! is Ternilla, rhymes with vanilla, and I am a third-year student in architecture. When I first arrived at this campus, I thought I was sure of who I was and what I was going to be. An architect coming from an artistic background, ready to make change in the world, and my community back home in the Bronx in New York City. However, in just a short amount of time, I recognized that my identity is not just one value, one determinant factor in who I am as a human being. My belonging at CMU is magnified by all of my intersecting identities and the network of friends and community I surround myself with on my journey. So at this moment, as a young Black woman, still unsure of where I will ultimately end up, I'm definitely sure of the generosity, growth, and diversity of friendships I have welcomed as a member of our Tartan community. Thank you.
Let's begin.
When I was just a pup, yeah. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the pumps. I don't wanna get the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. And the shorty clean the pendants, I'm a diamond in the rough.
24 karat VDs in the stars. Rings going off like Michael with the gloves. Only one mobbing with designers in the thugs. When we shop at Rincon, bring a bottle full of bug. Couple platinum records later, still I got the game locked. Cut my lines fresher than Tory Lane's pop. Who got his swerve and his in every raindrop. Hit them with the line and they get their brain swap. Walk around like I'm nigga with the diamonds in the clock. You ain't walking on these folks, I got diamonds in my socks. Might be funny like I'm Biggie, but I'm riding like I'm Pop. I'm the king of your city, give a fuck about your block. Lights on, lights on. Go on, twerk it if you know that song. Deep dive and I get lost. Go on, turn up if you know that you the boss.
Hey, used to have a silver tooth when I was just a pup, yeah. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the pumps. I don't wanna get the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. Now the shorty clean the pendants, I'm a diamond and to run it back. Used to have a silver tooth when I was just a pup. Now I got some killers who got shotties with the I don't wanna get the feelings, I be trying to see what's up. Now that shorty clean the pendants, I'm a diamond in the rough.
Hello, Carnegie Mellon class of 2027 plus.
My name is Ben Abel, and I'm a member of the CMU Bhangra dance team. Let's give it up. Bhangra is a folk dance from Punjab, a region in northern India. Although it traditionally celebrates the harvest, Bhangra has moved far beyond its roots, incorporating contemporary music and dance styles to make it accessible around the world. 1 year ago, I had never heard of Bhangra. Dancing in general didn't really interest me. I didn't even think I could dance. But at Community Collage last year, I sat right where you all are sitting now. And I saw 4 people give an utterly jaw-dropping performance. They looked experienced, they looked powerful. But what really struck me, they looked like they were having the time of their lives. A few short weeks later, at the activity fair, I signed up for tryouts. They were fantastic. One person, who would become one of my closest friends on campus, came up to me after the first learning session at tryouts, gave me his number, and offered to meet me to practice one-on-one. That moment alone made me feel like I belonged in a way that I hadn't anywhere else on campus. This past school year, I've spent at least 6 hours a week, every week, with dancers I've come to know and love, both on and off the stage. Whether I'm meeting with friends to learn a new segment, watch a movie, or dance until 4 a.m. at some crepe place in DC, I know that I belong. I urge you all to find that same place of belonging. Maybe for you it will be Bhangra. Maybe it will be some other incredible club on campus. But I promise that, no matter who you are, there is a place for you at CMU. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you around campus. Thank you.
Vamos a hacerlo. Ahí no, timba cerrada, arriba bimbero. Ben and Jamie's in the house. Representando a mi país, siempre calentando el país, Ángel Dios de La Habana, mami. ¿Dónde está la gente de la timba? La gente que nos quiere, gente linda. Tú sabes que la pongo. Seguimos en escena, seguimos en el pongo. Tú sabes que la como miseria y la manera de venir morir. Vengo de Cuba, es sin miseria. Si te descuidas me muero otra vez. A lo cortico te vamos a coger. Y en la esquinita, si en parada no te vamos a meter. Tú sabes que la pongo. Seguimos en escena, seguimos en el pongo.
loco, estás loco, muchacho, tú estás loco. Yo siempre voy a mí, ¿a quién voy a irle a ti? Tú estás loco, ay, tú estás loco, muchacho, tú estás loco.
Aho, and hello everyone. Hi, I am Crystal Rose Echeverria, and I'm so proud to be here today on campus. I am a sophomore in material science engineering with a double major in biomedical engineering. I am one of the current corporate liaisons for our school's chapter of NSBE. I am also the community outreach chair for our school's chapter of SHIP, and I hail from the Rappahannock tribe of the Powhatan Nation. I'm proud to be here today to also acknowledge the land that we are on. In this moment, we are on the intersection of the ancestral lands of the Seneca people, the Adena tribe, the Hopewell tribe, the Monongahela people, the Delaware Nation, and others who fled from genocide, dispossession, and persecution, such as the active Shawnee and Lenape. Thank you for being here today. But as you can see with all the different organizations I'm in, I'm able to represent my African American ancestry and my Salvadoran ancestry, but I had a really hard time finding any indigenous groups on campus. So I decided to try and come up with one of my own. And in order to do this, I went to the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion to talk about my ideas. And they had told me that someone actually had already made something. It was the Indigenous Peoples Celebration Day, but unfortunately the students who had organized it had left and the faculty had become a little too busy to continue on with the day. So in order to help train me and prepare me for holding this day once more, so hopefully if y'all are interested in that, please let me know afterwards. We would love to bring this back. They sent me to NCORE, the National Conference on Race and Ethnicity. There, I found myself surrounded by other Indigenous people and people who wanted to help the success of my community. It was very, very intimidating being surrounded by so many people who were so experienced when I myself had to go out of my way to find out more about my own ancestry because of the oppression that we have experienced in the United States. But thankfully, I was able to learn so much from the photographer and podcast host, Matika Wilbur, whose indigenous name is very fittingly Sasik, which appropriately translates to she who teaches. And she taught me ways to indigenize and decolonize institutions. And one way I know that we can do that at Carnegie Mellon is by allowing people to represent themselves the way that they wish to be represented. So I invite you, whether you are of indigenous ancestry or whether you are simply interested in supporting the culture that exists here on campus and throughout our country and our world, I invite you to reach out to me and the Center for Student Inclusion and Diversity about just making that community here. Whether or not you know where you come from, it is so important to recognize the history that has made us here today. And thank you for allowing me the space to speak my piece. I'm still figuring out a lot of things, as many of us are, but when we do it together, I know that we can work to make social justice a foundational part of representation here at Carnegie Mellon. Thank you so much.
Yo, mom's spaghetti. Yeah, we are 98.303, Introduction to Freestyle Rap. It's time to cook.
Time to cook. Time to cook.
welcome to 98-303. If you got any questions, you can ask me. Shout out to the BBC. You know that I'm rapping free. Yeah, I'm professor, and I'll teach you how to rap. But I'm enthrall you with the booms and the babs. This class, it truly is a trap. When you get it, you'll be in raps. Yeah, you know, first thing we do is teach you how to flow. Soon you'll be spitting flames like Zuko, you know. Oh, I should have mentioned this sooner. But here's my girl, Yuna. Yeah, she fostering the community from here to Germany. And she's the best HOC. That's my bad bitch, Yuna Lee. I'ma pass it to Mia. She's about to take this to Tria.
Hey, this is orientation, and I'm gonna ride the rhyme station. Everybody knows that the representation. Everybody knows I'm not on vacation. Cause I'm learning and swerving. Everybody thinks that I know what's concerning. I don't know, I know nothing, I'm schooling. Everybody knows I'm dripping and drooling. Oh, and I'm looking at the crowd. I don't know anybody that is down. Hey, cause everybody's happy, pursue your happiness. And I'm #blessed. So I'm passing it soon. You got it, Wally. Come on, dude.
Yeah, they know me as the Wally. Yeah, I'm going off feeling really jolly. But golly, what should I do? Should I say on the beat? No, matter of fact, I ain't gonna give you the treat. So I gonna eat it like it was meat. Yeah, I don't wanna stay off track, cause you know about that. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, snap. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the rapping going. Yeah, I feel like I am flowing, going. Yeah, I'm going off to Mars. Yeah, I'm filling up these stars. Hey, check it. Yeah, I'm gonna relax it, cause I gotta stick it with glue. About to pull up with my crew. Yeah, I'm about to pass it off. Can it trick group?
My name's Kenneth, yeah, I ain't no fool, you know, stay in school, cause I'm real cool. Yeah, I'm smooth like ice, yeah, nuts like Mom Jalo fight. Yeah, I got the raps on tight, yeah, making sure I stay in time. Got the flow that you know, shout out to HOC Pranathi, yeah, she keeps the team on beat. You know a smile beam, yes, we gotta stay neat, yeah, okay. I think the rap's getting fun, but you know we gotta say bye, cause the cypher is done.
Whoa! If you are interested in freestyle rapping, 98-303. Freestyle rap introduction.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yasmin Zadov, and I'm a rising junior studying material science and biomedical engineering. I currently serve as the secretary of the Muslim Student Association here at CMU. So being a Muslim at Carnegie Mellon can be challenging at times since we are a minority on this campus. However, this has not stopped us from being involved in social activism pertaining to human rights violations affecting Muslims around the world. Painting the fence is a notable CMU tradition that upholds the value of freedom of speech while simultaneously promoting civil discourse on campus. The past couple years, the MSA has supported the Arab Student Association, now known as the Middle Eastern and North African Student Association, in painting the fence in support of Palestine. However, this past year, our fence experienced an act of what we considered to be unbecoming of a tartan. Many members of the CMU community were impacted by these actions, and despite differences in opinion on the matter, came together and helped repaint the fence. Seeing everyone come together and the influx of messages of support from various community members and peers meant a lot to me and made me feel less alone. So no matter who you are and what your background is, there is a place for you and your voice here at CMU. And so during your time at Carnegie Mellon, I encourage you all to get involved and don't be afraid to speak out on the issues that matter to you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sebastian, and we're the CMU Karate Club, and we just like to show you some of the things we work on. Thank you. First thing we'll show you is a basic exercise. All right. Thank you. And now we'll show the 1-inch punch. All right. And now we'll show some sparring, which is more like an actual fight.
Hello, class of 2027 plus. I want to share with you all where I'm at in my own journey. I stand in front of you about to deliver a speech that was so carefully crafted and rehearsed for you so that I can appear like I have everything under control. I want to be candid. Rarely am I ever this put together, at least not on the inside. For the past 2 weeks, the orientation staff have been working incredibly hard to deliver an orientation experience that allows you to build a sense of identity and belonging at CMU, and that offers you an introduction into the support system that you have here. My mind has been consumed with Morewood Gardens chants and the names of you all that I meet every day. However, in the back of my head, I can't help but remember that on Sunday I'll be forced to confront reality. Here's a glimpse into my reality. Once Monday comes, I will no longer be a head orientation counselor, and it feels like I'm losing a part of my identity that I've held on to for 9 months. This might resonate with some of you. You're closing a chapter of your life and beginning a new one. Even now, at 21 years old, I go through phases of knowing exactly who I am and who I want to be, to knowing nothing about myself or who I want to become. It's daunting, and I don't like not knowing. To be honest, I don't even know what classes I'm going to take in a few days, I mean. My relationship with my identity used to be linear. I thought that as I grew older and as I finished up college, I'd have life figured out by now. I definitely don't. By the time I graduated high school and was in your shoes, I had been a ballet dancer for 13 years. I had excelled at science and math at school, and I planned on becoming an engineer. I had laid out my path to success at CMU. I was going to be a buggy driver, study abroad, and join a bunch of engineering organizations. Spoiler alert, a lot of those things did not happen. My first year at CMU was during the height of the pandemic. Online courses were tough, and I was no longer breezing through my science and math classes like I did in high school. I felt like I lost an integral part of my identity, and I began to doubt my abilities to become an engineer. When I returned from my sophomore year, I had temporarily taken back control over my academics, but now was confronted with a whole new balancing act of managing life outside of the lecture hall. I was meeting new people, exploring the city, and attending so many more events. But yet again, I fell behind in my classes. Everyone around me appeared to have their life figured out, and I felt like I had to be involved in the same amount of organizations, be doing research, or getting internships because my peers were. I was just going through the motions, and I didn't have time to figure out who I was. I was just trying to stay afloat. I lost a lot of the hobbies I once enjoyed. I was doubting myself and my place at CMU. I didn't feel inspired by what I was learning. I felt like I didn't know who I was. This mindset changed once I realized that I was defining my success and happiness based on my academic performance and involvement on campus. I had been neglecting the non-academic parts of my identity, and I failed to see how those were areas of my life that could make me successful. At CMU, it's really easy to get swept up in the academic rigor and lose the other parts of yourself that bring you joy. I challenge you to take a step back and reframe your purpose and your why. Reflect on what makes you happy and reject the notion that college is only about your academic growth, because it's so much more than that. It's about growing into all aspects of yourself. I'll end with some closing thoughts. Throughout your time at CMU, you will be forced to confront new aspects of your identity. It will be uncomfortable at times, and there will be uncertainty about your future and where you fit in. You might not know who you are, and that's okay. My advice is to lean into this scary unknown. Be vulnerable with yourself and those around you. Pursue the things that set your heart on fire, even if they don't further your career. Give yourself permission to take risks, and when you fail and get back up again, give yourself grace for trying. The journey of finding yourself is non-linear, and it's going to look different for everyone. Class of 2027 plus, I can't wait to see how you decide to pursue your happiness. As we continue through orientation this week, I encourage you to attend events hosted by the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion, such as the session on Centering You on Friday and our cookout on Saturday. Thank you to AB Tech for all of their phenomenal support of the entire orientation experience, and all of the student organizations involved in the performances. Thank you to our orientation staff, led by the other HOCs and pro staff, Andrew Greenwald, Lauren Moran, and Kara Roth. Thank you to M. Chanel Smith and the Center for supporting both this collage and myself. Thank you to the Vice Provost for DEIB office for their leadership of the Community Day experience, and all of the university administrators, faculty, and staff who support our efforts to cultivate a sense of belonging in every student's experience. Thank you.
Drinking dope, turn me to a superhero, hit that pill, turn me to a superhero, roll my 90s, turn me to a superhero, Telling the boss, do yoga, lot of server boys, serving these boulders, 100 grand large when I shop, that's a total, fill up the garage, jump a mogul.
Thank you to all of our performers. I'd now like to invite orientation staff to join me on the stage.
A